Sup guys, how you doing? This is Furby's Corner, episode 4. Sorry for no camera today, but I'm feeling like a little bit under the weather slightly, so I didn't want to put myself on camera. But yeah, this is like I said once again, it's the 4th episode of this series where I pretty much talk to people like who I think are making big moves across various scenes. If you guys been watching or listening to this podcast, it is it also gets uploaded to the Beast Coast FGC channel as well as Spotify. And today's episode is powered by Honey, honey.com/Furby if you want to help out. Shout out to Honey, owned by PayPal. So it's one of the best ways to save on coupons, especially in this online era, because it automatically adds them. Once again, big shout outs to Honey. My guest today is Psychoblue. You might have seen him in various roles, covering various games, most notably known for Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but like he also has hands in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, TMNT Cross Justice League, and many other things. Like, how you doing tonight, brother?
What is up, everybody? It's me, Psycho Blue, conductor of the High Train, Mr. Hype Gems, hashtag Crosswires, hashtag all those other games that Arturo just mentioned. It's good to be here this lovely evening. It is a school night, so I won't keep you guys too long. Let us begin.
How you doing, man? Like, I guess you should intro yourself and what scenes and what games you've been trying to push in the FGC.
Oh,
Obviously, people that are on my channel, FGC Sabin, see a lot of your content. So,
yeah. So Street Fighter Cross Tekken is my top priority and has been for a long time now. I was fortunate enough to start working with you just as the pandemic was really starting to slow down our scene. So thank you for that.
mhm.
I've also been working with Marvel's Capcom Infinite. Um, in Street Fighter Cross 10, I have a lot of accolades as a player as well. Infinite, not so much, but I think that game is just so much fun, and that scene has so much passion. And thanks to that passion, their dedication, they have shown that that game is super deep, like not just gameplay wise, but tier wise as well. And for a mobile game, that's a pretty impressive feat. Additionally, I am one of the writers on TMNT Cross Justice League Turbo. That is an Ikimen engine game with sprites and research from other Turtles and Justice League game. But we have professional artists like Nona. We have composers from SNK's 90s. Um, we even have the
Uh,
composer of King of Fighters 14 on the group now. So it's gonna be lots of good stuff. That game will be debuting on the main stage at Combo Breaker. Look forward to that.
like that, and that's amazing. And let's get the elephant out of the room first. So you mentioned the Ikimen engine, not Mugen, right?
Yes, not
Yeah.
Mugen, not Mugen.
Yeah, because every time you give me a TMNT video to upload, people are like, "Is this Mugen?" You gotta tell them no. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. How you're involved in that. Even if it's not like on the gameplay side of things, it's on the writing.
Yeah, I've been involved in fighting games, not just like community and gameplay wise, but you can't see it because my chair's in the way. But in this book, you see a couple bookshelves. This is like all Street Fighter stuff. We have Street Fighter manga, we have Darkstalkers manga, both translated and not translated. Most
Mm-hmm.
people don't know this, but the Vampire Savior manga that made like waves, like 5 chapters or so on the manga sites, that's 30 chapters long. There's like 4 volumes that never got touched, and that's a real shame because that comic's actually pretty hype.
God damn! Well, you are definitely a lore monster, my good friend.
I've been involved in this
Yeah.
for so long, and for me to expand my boundaries, not just for the writing stuff, but later on as a player. I mean, I've always been playing, but
Hmm.
back growing up, it was hard for me to really sit down and do stuff because one, I had a lot of actual activities planned, and two, the fighting games were on the downturn because this was when FPS were really starting to take over as I was growing up.
Hmm.
So by the time I got to high school, if you were a fighting game person, you were few and far between. And I was lucky to reconnect with one of them when I got back from college.
Oh,
College was lonely, and I'll let everyone know I went to college from 2005 to 2011. I did 2 years of grad school as well. You can see all the degrees I got up there,
uh, uh,
and
amazing
that was it.
accolades.
Yeah, that was Marsh University in Huntington, West Virginia, on the Ohio border, and I had to drive anywhere up to 3 hours to find anybody who knew what to play other than Class of Ninja, not the ported one. So like Class Ninja 1 was about it on my campus.
Oh man, so like I think it's safe to say like you know a lot like about getting underrepresented scenes and underplayed games in the spotlight. So like I kind of just wanted to ask like obviously like you know most for Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and it's not really a game that you can play easily right now like on Steam. You know, games for Windows Live like isn't a thing. Like you can't even watch the replay because the replay system is broken. Like I just wanted to ask for the people like how did you go about reviving Cross Tekken so successfully? You know, especially since like it's so hard to play these days. People know.
Because I'm stubborn
Hmm.
and I don't believe in giving up easily. So
Hmm.
if there was even one avenue to make it coherent, I say let's go for it. So here is what I do. Once we figured out the issue for Game for Windows Live on Windows 10,
Hmm.
which was that the Steam package didn't come with the right DLL file that it needs for it to run out of the box on Windows 10.
Hmm.
And I actually went backstage at Capcom Cup, and you remember me there. I was
Yeah, I
working on
remember.
footage for Cross Counter TV at the time, and I spoke to Ono about it. And Ono had seen me around a whole bunch of times before then. He'd seen me at
Hmm.
Evo, Final Round, because he knew I was a Cross Tag guy at that point.
Hmm.
And we spoke, and he told me things that did give me hope. I'm trying to remember. He said one, Street Fighter Cross Tekken isn't the same license mire as TVC or Marvel would be. It's Capcom owns it completely. That's what he told me.
Hmm.
So that's not why it's not being updated. He told me low priority. He used that word. He used that term a lot. Low priority. And he told me if the numbers move, that would change things.
Hmm.
So before that Steam message saying we're going to update the game whenever they do it. I mean, it's going to happen one day eventually, but when that message went up in November of last year, Emize told me the cross Tekken numbers and the platinum hit site actually moved up between quarters, and when that report came out, that was not long before they released that message on Steam. And I thought to myself, did everything we've been doing, all the numbers that we've been doing, did that get people to buy the game and finally get them to realize that the game doesn't work out of the box? Because people at the time were either playing on Parsec or they found uh, the executable that I linked on my YouTube, the one that I showed you,
Hmm.
and they actually changed the executable during the pandemic. Like you remember when you came back for last January, you noticed something was different. They
Yeah.
tied it to the new Xbox app on Windows 10, so it's like something's going on. They're making attempts to fix it, and hopefully, whenever this final update comes out, whether it be next month or several months from now, hopefully sooner rather than later. I am getting impatient.
Hmm.
Um, it will be the answer to all my prayers, which is making sure Cross Tekken has an easy way to be played on modern systems, or in this case, Steam and Steam Deck.
Yeah, like you did bring up some good points. Like you did mention like it's interesting like that Ono said that the IP is 100% Capcom's. Even though like it is Street Fighter Cross Tekken. That might be it might be why you can still buy the game on digital storefronts today. Um, do you think it's safe to say that the most active player base for it is on Steam through that community hack?
So it's interesting, and I've been noticing this. So PS3 for a while kind of dwindles, but I'm noticing people like on the late night after hours have been showing up more on PSN in the
Hmm.
last few couple of months, and that's typically Homeless Dragon, aka Brown Curse's end.
Hmm.
Brown, this is my shout out time. Brown Curse on YouTube. He won Evo in 2018. He is a Rubus Ibiki player, and in recent months, he has been working really hard to show that PSN, the PlayStation 3 side, is not dead yet, and he's shown some pretty impressive gameplay. And there's another player, IVIR Liquid, who still plays on PSN, but he's only up at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Hmm.
Only played like twice because I had to wake up early for a work thing. I wanted to keep awake, so I fired up PSN and saw a lobby of
Hmm.
his. He's a Dawson player like you are, actually. He's really good.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely he's a fun character in Cross Tekken, that's for sure.
I've been trying to play him more lately with Nina. I don't
Hmm.
have Taquito's instincts just yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah, cause I remember like when this game was fresh, like most of the serious comp was on Xbox Live, but obviously that changed over time. And, PSN is free, so it makes a lot of sense. And like not everybody's gonna be aware of the Steam community patch, so that does make a lot.
I,
Now go ahead, brother.
I've been doing a lot to kind of push it as much as I can.
Hmm.
But yeah, at the same time, it's funny you mentioned that. A lot of times when we have people come in on the Discord, and this is before, or even actually after they had the Steam shutdown, because you can still buy the game right now on G2A and stuff like that. So it's
Hmm.
not completely inaccessible for Steam.
Hmm.
You just have to kind of dig a little bit harder. But they always say how to get the game to boot. And I say, did you read the video I posted and read first?
Hmm.
So it's funny that people just don't even bother looking, or there's misinformation out. There's one guy on YouTube, Mike the Tech, who said the netcode is dead. I said no, it's not. You're just ensuring people don't actually play online. And this game does have rollback. It's not the best rollback, but for
Is
its
there?
time was pretty good.
Is there? Yep. I
Yeah.
remember.
So
I'm not. I remember the netcode for this game being pretty good. Like in the first version of it, it just had the sound. It just had like the sound glitch. During rollback. In the early days. I remember they patched it and like it made the rollback slightly worse in order to fix that desync. You remember that?
yeah, I
Uh,
do.
uh,
And it's always interesting to see the phases this game has gone through.
yeah.
And I once again thank you for giving me a chance to kind of show the world back in 2019 in Combo Breaker back then just how much the scene had grown, not just with returning guys like LPN or Windolf or Seth LOL who were in that tournament, but just the way the meta had shifted, to show everything that we're kind of learning about as the game died had matured and further evolved since then. I mean, the tier list is going to stay mostly the same. The game is really balanced, and we kind of tell pretty quickly who the top characters were.
Esports.
But
Thanks so
all
much
the
for
things we were kind of
subscribing.
refining as the game was dwindling, like when I met you that one Civil War, the one you won in 2013, things had kind of further grown from that point. And it's really fascinating to see how much a game, after 10 years of play now, this is the game's 10th anniversary that passed last month. It's really cool to see how much a game can evolve as long as there's someone willing to keep the lights on, and that's might as well be me. And
Yeah.
I take pride in the fact I've done that.
Yeah, like I've noticed, like with a lot of the cross tech and replays you've sent me over the years, it pretty much covers a lot of the major regions. Obviously, I've seen the U.S. side of things. Like I've seen EU players throw down, and I've seen players in the Asian region throw down. I think the only region I haven't seen is like Latin America region.
We're trying to get more into that. Chile used to be really, really, really big in cross Tekken,
Yeah.
and recently in the Discord we have had more Chileans show up, and I'm going to actually ask if I can maybe jump on PSN and hope the replays go through on that end,
How many people are active? How many
because
people are active in the Discord?
it's usually there's like 12 people who post all the time.
No, no,
Um,
like I shouldn't say active. I mean like how many people like are in the Discord period?
let me take a look right now. I'll get the numbers. Hold on.
And
Alrighty.
cause obviously there'll always be some diehards.
All right. So
Online.
offline, trying to find the numbers. Just a moment. I think when Salt told me last, there were, I think, 5,000 people who had joined total.
Dang.
It's a big number. It's well in the 4-digit range.
Dang. Dang.
But most of them
Are
only
not.
show up to. I mean, it's at the same time. I'm not asking everybody to talk all the time,
Uh
but
huh.
I definitely see a lot of action, particularly in our frame data bot, which is fantastic. The frame data bot has combos. It has bread and butters. It has not just frame data like for typical normals. Now it's frame data for boost combo stuff.
Oh
So you want
boy.
to like cheese someone, that's stuff to go for.
Oh boy. Yeah. It's almost like frame tool assistant for SF5, huh?
Yeah, and it's nice to see other discords kind of adapt that. I remember Tekken Zaibatsu's Discord has that for Tekken as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, keep
Knowledge,
going.
knowledge is power, brother. Like, frame data is so important, and like we never really had easy access to it. Even with the official SFXT guide, like, I don't think it had complete frame data.
It,
It did have a really good explanation of moves, but not the frame data that you're mentioning. If I
yeah.
remember correctly.
Well, there was also no version 2013 guide that came out.
That's true, man. Like that. That's the struggle of game development. Like just fighting for that budget. Fighting for things to be updated. Fighting for things to stay relevant is definitely not easy.
No, and real quick before we get into that tangent, I do want to talk more about that particular part.
Hmm.
I did make a cross Tekken Bible um, after 2017 when I won the side tournament that year, Evo,
Hmm.
that had all the version 2013 frame data information, and also had recommended team placements. Like Justin Wong did that one time at Event Hubs. So that's my baby. That's my magnum opus, the Street Fighter Cross Tekken Complete Dossier, and I've linked that a few times on the videos I've given you for Cross Tekken. So anybody who's listening, you can go on Arturo's channel, MIC Furby, for anything Street Fighter Cross Tekken the last 2 years, and you can find the Street Fighter Cross Tekken Complete Dossier that would have all that stuff, and you can learn the game as if you had the Prima guide with all the current information that is developed since then.
Awesome, guys. So basically, you guys heard that. You guys heard that for sure. The information is out there, guys. Definitely, like it definitely is out there. But yeah, go on and go on and elaborate what you're going to talk about. I said you're going to touch on the game
Yeah,
development side of things.
that's why I support these other games, not just because I find them fun, even games I don't play as heavily, like Dead or Alive, I'll support just because I see people in that scene who are as dedicated to their game as I am to my games. I want to nurture passion across the FGC. And that's why you see me drop a lot of Sadaka in your Matcherino for the different games, whether it be Venkabot stuff, the Virtua Fighter things. I've dropped stuff for Guilty. I've dropped stuff for CDS2, like we mentioned about when Baz was doing character guides. I supported him. CDS2 is definitely a game I played, not to a point I'm doing roll counts and stuff. I definitely did play it a lot as a ignorant casual back in high school. But yeah, I want to support that passion across the FGC, and if I see someone who has that passion, I will do what I can to support them if I have the opportunity to do so. For example, for Combo Break, I'm going to be rooming Jacob Man just right on my pocket because I like his passion for Marvel Infinite, and I want to make his trip easier.
Damn, awesome. What's planned at Combo Breaker again for this game?
Okay, so Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I
Yeah.
have not heard back from the TOs yet about whether or not I can run it officially. So I'm hoping maybe you could speed that along. I heard NetBal is involved. If you can get in
Yeah,
their ear, I'd appreciate it.
Net Battles is involved, and I am registered for Combo Breaker. Like I just need to talk to Rick to like think about like what I'm actually gonna do. If I do decide to do anything at a Combo Breaker, but I am registered for the tournament. I just need to sit down and figure out what's going on. And, obviously Rick is a very busy man with him not only overseeing Combo Breaker but also Evo these days, the general manager. So no stress. But
Well, hopefully he can get back to about cross checking a combo breaker. That way I can say if it's official or not. If it's not, I'll just run the BYOC area, just old school,
mhm.
and hope they don't protest too much when I have crowds come over to see all the hype.
I think that how like I think they would love that. Like at this point, at this point, tournament organizers want to see they want to see the crowds, they want to see the hype, they want to see the action. Um,
Well, I applied, so it definitely will be there, and it'll be on 360 because thanks to the wonderful people at Brook, here's another shill. Thanks to the wonderful people at Brook, we now have converters that have PS4 sticks and PS5 sticks work on Xbox 360.
oh
It
man.
only took them like 6 years to finally get that done. So I ran Cross Tekken on PS3 stuff
Mhm.
when Street Fighter 5 came out because nothing worked on 360 anymore. There were no converters that were consistent, and the only one that had one, Mayflash, disappeared like instantly. But now with the Brook Wingman, I bought like four of them, so I can say whatever you want. 360 is this tournament standard again. Go for it.
Yeah, like Brooks adapters. I'll give him my seal of approval. Like it's definitely something that that I've been pushing in the PC realm. For those offline venues that can dabble like in a little bit of a high refresh PC. I definitely believe in like all of the Brooks converters. I personally use the Wingman XB myself, and it solves a lot of the controller issues that people have on PC. Because like you mentioned, it does work for all the systems, and it's X input and Xbox 360 compatible. So I feel like it's a no brainer to me. And you know what's also really important, like our lovely sponsors that help support this podcast and make it possible. So just gonna be talking about them for a little bit before we continue. Once again, this podcast is brought to you by Honey, powered by PayPal. And just to give you guys like a little bit of background about Honey. Honey is a Chrome extension that we use that automatically applies coupons to a lot of sites that you use on the internet. Like if you add the extension, you just shop like normal, and then it'll automatically apply coupons. And it's actually really great. You can add to Chrome for free. Like you see right there, like using it like on iOS as well. And for the people that have used it, like on average, like they'll save $126 in coupons over a year. They'll have $1 billion in total savings found. An average discount of 18%, and there's actually 30,000 participating stores. And anyway, guys, one of the best ways that you can support this podcast. Oh, thank you for the raid, by the way, Imperius Club. Is checking out that referral link, joinhoney.com/Furby. If you guys remember, everything is free. So if you guys install the extension through that referral link, the lords at PayPal and Honey, they will see that the FGC likes to click, and it's one of the best ways to help me out. Shout out to Honey once again, and carry on, brother.
Yeah, all right. So going back to supporting people, again, cross-check will be a combo breaker, whether it be an official side tournament game or just something I put on my LGPs, and I will give it to Arturo later to show the world what happened in between. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Jaco Man, he's going to be assisting with Marvel's Capcom Infinite and Ultra Street Fighter 4. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody who's been talking about, oh, I miss Street Fighter 4, whenever you see Arturo upload Street Fighter 5 video, I know Arturo knows what I'm talking about for people who complain about that.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
now you have no excuse. It will be a combo breaker, and Jaco Man, who I will be rooming out of my own pocket, he will be bringing that to you along with his main haunt, Marvel's Capcom Infinite.
How?
And
Yeah, like that. That gives us the perfect segue to jump into MVCI because
I remember that. I remember when I was in your room, you were very skeptical about it.
Oh yeah. But like I eventually came around. You are a man of many hats. Like I mentioned in the start of the podcast. Can you talk about like a little bit like about what you do with MVCI and of course marvelous meetings?
All right, so Marvelous Meeting started because I had just upgraded my PC to play Marvel Infinite. I figured it was about time to get all the hardware I needed now that my career was far enough along where I could spend my money on better toys, especially because I wanted to stream better. Um, so Infinite necessitated me to actually move up and not play Street Fighter 5 on like all digital nets as well, because I wanted to stream and make a habit of it. I got really heavy into Marvel Infinite with Non-Playable. They were a charity fighting game group run by Dyna Volta back in the 2016 2017. Then he faded away. He had to get some personal stuff done. I won a few of the first Infinite events using Hawkeye Sigma, and so from there he had to drop it. But I wasn't like say like I wanted to continue growing because I knew beyond that circle I had a long way to go as a player. So from there, you see me flailing my arms around. I do it a lot. Sorry, guys. It's how I commentate as well. That's why you hear me yell so much. I'm getting my adrenaline up. With Marvel, I made my own Marvel event, Marvelous Meetings, to continue where non-playable had left off.
Yeah.
So that eventually grew further because no one else was running events on Steam at the time. Like PlayStation 4 was the tournament standard, but no one was doing anything for Steam, so I said, let it be me. That's why you see me have flyers that say Steam's premier Marvel event, because I was the first guy doing it on a regular basis. And from there, I made time to keep doing it even sporadically because I want to continue supporting Infinite, even if I can't play it as much as I used to. I'm always so busy as a clinical supervisor, but I just think the energy that the Infinite community brings is very positive, and I also like what the game stands for. Um, I'm going to explain that in just a second because I know this that it seems like all my games have some kind of hoo-ha one way or another. But for Infinite, I like how the game feels like a callback to the Marvels that I quote unquote grew up on. Like by the time Marvel 2 came out, I was already like well into high school, and I'd rather play CBS just but my tastes were evolving at the time. Um, I didn't know anything about yeah, I just like got into college and what he was doing with like the Marvel baby and the memes and stuff because YouTube was not things until I was like already in uni. But the Marvel, like the older Marvel games, that's has like a special place in my heart because I once got Marvel Super vs. Street Fighter for PlayStation 1 as a gift from one of my teachers for graduating middle school. And I also got the PS1 port of Marvel's Capcom 1 with my own allowance at the time that what my 15-year-old self could make. So seeing hearing that the director from those games work on Infinite, as well as seeing the Infinity Stones and just the way the game looked, it looked like it made a bit more sense to me mentally. So I
Hmm.
wanted to see the game evolve. I liked how the stones worked like grooves as well. So it was like it was hitting on like all the stuff I liked in high school
Uh-huh.
and like bringing it back as a flash of nostalgia, I guess.
How like oh boy, and like this game, you can still buy it on Steam, right? And on all the major platforms,
Yeah,
correct? Yeah, like so
you can. It's
there's still
it's hype
like
too.
yeah, so it's pretty. It makes me wonder like about what's going on the back end side of things because obviously if this game is still available on digital platforms like there must be some kind of licensing involved, right? Since like it's not 100% Capcom's, so
Well,
makes me
you
wonder.
would be more in tune with that than I would, but
I don't know. Yeah,
Jacob,
no, I don't
yeah.
know. Like I'm saying because I have as much information as you do, my friend. Like I don't have any Illuminati info. It just like
All
it just
right.
makes me answer. It just makes me like ask questions. You know.
I remember hearing about what some of the rumored DLC characters had the game continued and the plug not been pulled, and
Hmm.
that always irks me because people were saying it was going to be Gil, and I was like, "Excuse me, Gil?"
Hmm.
And this is before Gil showed Street Fighter Five.
Hmm.
This would have been Gil's tournament legal debut, and I'm imagining it just kind of like what he is now in Street Fighter Five, that new update, I guess.
Hmm.
Just all kinds of bullet hell nonsense.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And like you are having a marvelous meetings coming up pretty soon this month. Don't you, sir?
Yep, it's gonna be you know what? I should have maybe I can commission Osborne to make like a impromptu flyer. Being it will be on Easter Sunday, I need like a soul stone motive. The resurrection.
Resurrection. Yeah, yeah, because we have been doing this. We have been doing marvelous meetings for a good while. One of the vods I'm watching right now has 11,000 views on the channel. So people definitely care. Still, it's
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
really happy about that. We had one that got like 16,000 last time I checked.
Yeah. You know what I think it
And
is. You know what I think it is. The vocal supporters like they. No, well, I'm sorry. The supporters, I should say, they mostly stay silent. It's the detractors that are the loudest, even if they're small in number. You know.
I find
Yeah.
it funny that and I remember thinking this when the game got the reception it did. I was thinking to myself, "Oh my god, again?"
Yeah.
Because I remember what happened across Tech, and I was thinking, okay, that this game, I mean, Fighter Z is going to be its thing, but this is still Capcom. There's a certain quality behind it that will allow it to rise up over time.
Hmm.
And even so, it was like we're in the exact same boat that actually maybe even worse off because Marvel Infinite had like only 4 months of real esports support. Cross Tekken had 2 years at least.
Hmm.
So it was like even more sped along.
Yeah, man.
And that
Yeah, like it was definitely like a very very weird time. But in hindsight, considering everything that happened with the pandemic, I'm glad that Capcom added really good netcode infrastructure to this game. Yeah, I mean, even though it wasn't considered valuable at the time because offline was the way to go. Now these days, like with the way the lobby system works and everything, and the rollback, it's been a boon for keeping this game alive, especially.
Sorry, I'm putting on socks. I was
That's all.
scratching my foot. I want to have people think I'm being weird. 1 second.
It's
There we
all
go.
good. It's all good, brother.
I lost track of my camera angles. But yeah, with Marvel Infinite,
Mhm,
I'm trying to find the words for this that don't sound like I'm just being sour grapes or confrontational.
mhm,
Going back to Cross Tekken, and this will tie into the Mobless meeting stuff. Something that I find every scene needs their identity. Every scene needs a personality. Not so much like a personality, like literally like how Yipes is for Marvel,
mhm.
but like every scene has their own unique kind of energy, and you've noticed this.
Yeah, of course.
We can all say we're hype, and understandably, I mean, we all love video games, and video games tickle us in a way nothing else can. That's why we're traveling across the world for it. But every scene has their own unique kind of energy.
Mhm.
Marvel is known for like just that loud, hyperactive, sugar rush type energy. The anime scene, particularly Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear as well, that has more of like that DDR type energy,
Mhm.
where it's just coming at you many colors. And then you have Mortal Kombat, that's more of like a metal concert type energy,
Yeah, it
and,
does.
Street Fighter, that is more of a, I guess, like a smooth jazz type energy when I think about it.
Smooth jazz. I guess it depends on which version, but a third strike, yeah, definitely smooth jazz.
But or Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, it has like a mature,
It does.
focused kind of energy. Is what I mean.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
but Street Fighter Cross Tekken's energy, it's a defiant energy. If I had to like put a genre on it, I would say something like MOP. The song Anti Up is like this blast of energy
Mhm.
coming at you, but it's more of like a defiant, no, we're not going to do this. Or if you're not a rap head, something like a Black Flag or a Social Distortion or a Suicidal Tendencies type or Offspring type energies like that punk, defiant, we're gonna fight the system kind of energy.
Yep.
That is Cross Tekken, and that extends very much to the players who are still playing it
Oh,
because they have, and I definitely do. It's probably why I'm defining it like this.
they're defying
Street
all the
Fighter
odds. They're crossing the
we are
lines.
we are defying the odds. We are crossing the line. It is us against them, and I think, I mean, I've seen what people say about me sometimes in socials, so I'm not really hiding from that or shying away from it because I know to support this game and to have it reach the heights it needed to reach to a point where people could see what we've been doing and why I value it so highly. Um, I had to kind of adapt that energy as my own at live events, even unintentionally. So I try to bring that defiant energy to uh, to everything else I support because these
Oh my
scenes, they
God.
need someone who will put that put that foot down, saying, "No, this is our time. You can either sit back and watch or get out of the way." And that's not me trying to threaten anybody, but every scene needs that kind of saying, no matter what, through thick and thin, this is what we're doing and this is what we're playing. And I want to bring that energy to anything else I support, even stuff that doesn't really need that particular level of support that Cross Sector Infinite might, which have like those reputations of being one thing, but in reality are much more positive.
Yeah. I'm just scrolling through some of this old footage a bit. Oh man, like that offline is different. Shout outs to Net Battles doing. I know you gave me props for uploading it, but this was actually recorded by the homie Net Battles today. Shout outs to Nober, who graciously like I told him the equipment to get so he could blow it up on the side stations, and blow it up he did. It's actually has 420K views. It's incredible.
Yeah, I remember the Japanese scene asking me about that, and they're like, "Where all these numbers come from?" And
Mhm.
I said, I'm not sure. They just said they want to stream top four, so I took a seat with Metal Man, who I just picked from the crowd, and we put some voices on the matches. So shout outs to see that's Seth LOL and Windolfer there.
Yeah.
Shout I believe Play Game was Oz Leon from the Florida scene.
Hmm.
There was something going on where they were changing their names on me, but I knew from the characters they were picking who they actually were. Like as soon as Windolfer picked Brian Steve, I knew who he was. He's gained some muscle mass since the last time I saw him. From that point,
Yeah,
he,
yeah. That's the thing with these games. It's like there's so many fantastic games that because of like time or resources, etc. These tournaments have limited resources. They don't always get the platform that they deserve to shine. So shout out to Combo Breaker, for having that side room, to make sure that many things that are worth seeing don't go unseen, to say the least.
that's another thing that really pushes me to support the games I support. Um, because I like them so much, I also know that if there isn't someone who will preserve the legacy it has, it will just be the same dead horse being beaten about uh, the on disc DLC or the really crappy collector's edition or the goofy faces that Chun Li and Dante and others had, or whatever else people want to talk about with these games. That will be its legacy if someone like me or someone like Jaco Man or someone like Matt Ponton and DOA, which has their own
Yeah, he does.
controversies.
Yeah, that guy does great work.
He does. Without people like us, our games will always be known as something that isn't worth playing, which is as far from the truth as possible. Like you're watching some footage right now from that combo breaker, just how crazy it is. Like that game, Hero Cross Tekken, that's real honest fine, ladies and gentlemen. That game is 50 characters deep, and I made that Cross Tekken dossier to explain why that game is so deep and how you can um, make the most out of the system. It allows you all this freedom at the same time, encourage so many different styles of play. Marvel Infinite, that's the balance Marvel. Ryu just won a gauntlet a couple weeks ago,
Hmm.
and um, there's gonna be another Ryu player next Marvelous. I'm told. I'm hoping he can show you guys just how deep that game is because Ryu's been looked at as a joke in that game for so long. But as the scene devoted itself to figure out the grind for each character, they realized this game is 44 characters deep, just like Cross Tekken is 50 characters deep. And people wouldn't know if the legacy just remained about the no X-Men, which is pretty dumb, I will admit, or the bad music, or the uh, really awkward esports push it had with all the real weird gem rules. With Power Stone, you had like to cash in a stone like it's Money in the Bank in WWE. I want the legacy to be more positive than that, and Jacob Man's done his part, and with Mobless Meetings, I extend that positive legacy. And even beyond those two games, I'm trying to get Neo
Yeah,
Geo Battle Coliseum more alive than it is right now because
yeah. I was about to touch on that next. Can you talk about some of the other games you've been pushing, like Battle Coliseum?
so I thought about this. I think a big reason why Cross Second clicked with me so hard so quickly is because my favorite SNK game in college, once I got the PS2 from my family because they limited me until I had my grades up in order. Um, they no, I got Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, and the story about that game is funny. Not so much like the stuff about Tung Fu flexing and things like that,
Hmm.
but there was a I was doing a part-time job with UPS as a package person on the holidays,
Hmm.
and the guy I was riding with dropped me off at UPS where I had parked my car during the start of our shift. No, he dropped me off at Best Buy.
Hmm.
Sorry, UPS who I was working with. And before I left, I went inside. I went into the holiday bargain bin, and Neo Geo Battle Coliseum was in the bargain bin. I'm like, when did this game come out on America? I thought this game was like import only.
Hmm.
It was already like $9. So my dad knew he'd heard me mention the game in high school before I went to college because the game was revealed in like 2004, 2005, my senior year.
Hmm.
So when I brought it home finally, and I told him I'm waiting 3 years for this game to come out in America, and he said, "In the bargain bin," and we just laughed. But that game, that game has a lot of character. That is my favorite SNK game because if you're someone who comes from like a Street Fighter background and you find short hops too intimidating, this might be the SNK game for you.
Yeah.
because you get to have all the pizzazz of the SNK cast and the SNK characters and the
Yeah.
music and the secret boss battles.
And it does borrow a
But
lot. It does borrow a lot from that SVC Chaos engine with how the guard system works.
we'll talk about that game soon as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, Battle Coliseum. I like how synergy works. It's not as deep of a synergy as Infinite or Cross Tekken, but it feels like because the cast is so diverse and everyone has their own cool stuff to do. Once you get past like the really busted stuff, like the tongue furu flexing, or just how good Kim and Mr. Big and Hotaru are, and things like that.
Yeah.
Everyone has there's so many styles of play you can play in Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, and if you refine it, it will work.
Uh,
And also,
yeah. Like I mean, like, again, these games with like such massive rosters, the meta doesn't get figured out until years into the game's life.
which is why it's important that I at least make an effort to extend that life so that meta can actually develop properly. Um, the person doing that the most is a person in Japan, Tudo-san.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's who we're watching right now.
yeah, he's the man. He's like he does what Bass does for CVS too. Like he'll run these big one tournaments, and especially since the pandemic kind of eased up a bit, he's been saying, "I'm going out. We're gonna push this, especially now Fightcade's a thing." And he has been showing the world, like he's actually doing character guides on his YouTube channel for every character. It's just they're all in Japanese, so you
Hmm.
have to watch by example and kind of gather what he's talking about.
Yep. Yep. This match we're watching, he's actually playing somebody in Peru. So this is a Japan to Peru net play. On a Fightcade 2 Flycast emulator. Check out fightcade.com. If you want to play like a lot of these old games online. Roll back netcode and all that. So you don't gotta wait for developer support. It's already here.
You asked
Support
me
it.
about Dark Geese a while ago. I will be playing him at Evo.
Also, Dark Geese coming out of his cave again.
He says he'll be at Evo, and I just confirmed I will be at Evo to run Cross Second in TMT Cross Justice League. So I will make time for Battle
Oh,
Coliseum for sure.
the blow up. I
I
haven't
want
seen
to
that
see how
guy. I haven't seen that guy in eons.
I want to see how my now I actually know how to play properly, like with guard cancels and stuff,
Uh huh.
which I wasn't do or the focus cancels. I wasn't doing up until I saw people do it online and in Fightcade and stuff.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. Like I'm not. I remember when that guy came to the U.S. He stayed at my house, and he was showing me like how beastly he was in Battle Coliseum. I was like eons ago.
I want to see how my Neo Dio and Hanzo
Stack
stand up
up.
to him. That way I can see at least where I stand in terms of like the higher echelons. Because that said, I shared with me and Shawnee. We definitely learned a lot from each other, and now I'm starting to learn through him because he's punished me with everything with Shermie, and
Hmm.
showing like all the weird hitbox quirks about how Shermie can low profile anything under the
Hmm.
sun and then just cancel with a forward B into whatever she wants, like the electric knee.
Hmm.
Um, we're both improving rapidly, and I want to see if that improvement is what high level Balcosium feels like, or see how much farther I have to go to reach the echelon beyond getting to like the silly stuff like tongue flexing me to death and things like that.
Yeah, that always is silly, but like I crack up every time I see tongue flex it. Though.
I'm really mad he can't do that like at all in 14. I was really mad when I saw in 14 that he couldn't do any of that.
Womp womp womp. Sad boys.
But yeah, it's cool. It's nice that we have a point. I've noticed all the games I'm talking about have rollback, so that also
Yeah,
makes it way less of an upward hill
yeah, it does.
than otherwise. Like for Cross Tekken, I have to go in like the battle logs and have people send me replays, and I upload them like they would be in Fightcade. That's how I show you the
Well,
tournaments. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how I keep the game alive.
for
Um,
sure. But there is one notable exception to that. Which I'll get into next. TMNT Cross Justice League.
Oh my goodness. So that's a funny story. First off, shouts to my boy Charles Cook, aka to be more crazy. He is someone where he's a guy I talked to confirm I didn't just imagine some of these fighting games I've seen growing up. He was popping off a while ago about Sango Fighter. And
like that. That's such an old PC game. Of course, I
so
know Sago Fighter, but yeah,
here's some Crosswires trivia. That was the first fighting game I ever owned.
Sago Fighter. Wow.
So I had played Street Fighter 2 and stuff like at the arcades or a kiosk at Lowe's and stuff. But the first game I actually owned, Dad got me two
Yeah.
games: Street Fighter 1 for DOS
Uh,
and
that was.
a
Oh
freeware
man.
version of Songo Fighter.
Those are the rough like DOS days where it's like you did not have enough DPMI memory to play this game. Controller support was a bitch. Like a lot of the games did not have smooth scrolling like the NES did. I think that's why the NES. I think that's why the NES took off so much here. It basically comes down to the smooth scrolling and the fact that it was such like a high barrier of entry. You know, not only on the tech side of things, but like in cost, stuff like that.
My parents restricted me a lot growing up, so I didn't have a chance to go to the arcades much beyond like field trips and things like that.
Oh boy.
Like college was like my first time tasting freedom to actually go and pursue
Mm-hmm.
these things. Everyone popped off about the lunchroom and things about like the arcade scenes, the turbine stuff like that, the Blockbuster World Championship, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but going back to TMNT Cross Justice League, so I was the guy who ran as a favor to Charles for everything he's done for me. TMNT Tournament Fighters at AMA Evo 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and
Legendary. Another legendary game.
that game is way better than any right to be. Like that game feels butter smooth for the system it's on and what year was made.
Yeah, absolutely. Also another game that they great at Combo Breaker offline.
Yeah, and he did great Combo Breaker offline too. I think he got like a second or third. I think Nerd Josh took first that year.
Mm-hmm.
It was like main stage, but yeah, with so I ran Anime Evo, and we hadn't talked much about it afterwards. Like I still played it like casually, but I wasn't like deep into it. And then the pandemic hit, and I saw TMNT Cross Justice League making waves. So I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I was at Anime Evo, there was an Evo reveal for a fan-made TMNT Tournament Fighters sequel. There were no Just League characters involved at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Charles, "Is this what you were showing me last time?" He told me it's this is what the game has become since then. So I played it and I realized this game is like Cross Tekken 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are watching the tag footage. That's the secondary mode. That's like a bonus mode, like it is in Dead or Alive. The 1v1. So you've heard this before. If you anti-air someone with a standing normal, like counter hits, that's a float state.
Mm-hmm.
There is a boost combo system. It's light. It's a light limb to two limbs. So light punch to two punches gives you light heavy chain. I believe that's a CPS chain, like the early
Oh
CPS
yeah,
chain.
yes sir.
Yeah. So early CPS chain. So it's got Magic Series.
Mm-hmm.
It has a juggle system for its main combo dexterity. It's 2 point juggle system. EX moves don't take juggle points. And to activate EX, which is the Omega moves, EX is called Omega in this game. It's not enough just to attack someone and build meter that way, because it's not how the meter works.
Mm-hmm.
You get an Omega effect stock by attacking enough times, blocking enough times, not getting hit enough times, hitting people with enough specials, etc., just like gym activation. So instead of having like an attack boost or a defense boost, you get an EX stock.
Dang. Yeah, nah, I'm looking at this tag mode right now. Like, this shit looks hype as hell. Isn't this also a game that's going to be a combo breaker offline?
Yes, it is. So the 2v2 mode, again, that's a bonus mode. We have to run a side tournament for that at Combo Breaker if we're going to do it. But 1v1, which is the one I gave you from January, that will be a main stage game at Combo Breaker. And I did apply for commentary, and I'm crossing my fingers that I got it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, good luck with that. Like, like I said, once again, we keep talking about combo breaker so much. I really got to talk to Rick to see what's up.
Absolutely. And put a good word for me if you could.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
yeah, I want to talk more about Team Cross Justice League and how I got involved in that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I played. I'm like, well, this game is hype. So I went to the Discord that I already joined because I was there for uh, the Anime Evo stuff to coordinate, and I'd been there for like old school games anyway. when that itch needs to be scratched, right to wax nostalgia from childhood. And I said, hey, this game is so good. And I just happened to walk in as one of the project producers. What's going on here is his full name. He said they're looking for editors and writers for the upcoming update, which was going to add Bizarro, Zoom, KC, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, I used to write all the time, and I volunteered, and now I am the main dialogue writer for anything that happens after this. And I am very excited about that.
Damn.
So, additionally, this isn't just reused assets. So, and I can link you. I'm going to DM you something. You can put this up. We're about to talk about. Hold on a second.
All right, cool.
I want to talk about the other people involved in the project, like that people would know, especially for a fighting game fan of SNK type stuff. Where is your? I'm trying to move my likeness out of the way. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I just DM'd you. Sorry.
All right,
This
that's
one.
cool.
I got you. All right. So our main character artist, we have a few. The guy who does all the portrait art is Tanataka, and he is a very popular FGC Twitter artist. He does all the portrait art. The guy who did the intro for the game and all the endings, that is Nona. Nona is the artist for in-game portrait stuff for SBC Chaos and King of Fighters 2001, 2002, 2003, and 11.
Mm-hmm.
So if you remember Xion getting sucked into a void in King of Fighters 11, that was Nona. If you remember SBC Chaos and all stuff that happened, that was Nona. And Nona getting involved in our project allowed us to meet with other people that have that kind of fame. So we have the composers from Art of Fighting involved with Zoom's theme. We had the composer of Metal Slug games involved with Bizarro's theme. I mean, that guy actually told us, I will get my band to make a single for this project, and I will give you a buddy discount for it because you got Nona involved. And if he's involved, there's legitimacy to it.
Oh yeah.
We
Oh yes.
we have hey, show them the actual picture of Darkseid like staring down you. That's the Nona stuff. I just saw that one. There, that's Nona.
I see.
All right. We also have the composer of King of Fighters 14, like more recent SNK stuff, and he does the theme for the Watchtower.
Wow.
So we have.
There's so many. There's so many heavy hitters involved in this project. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. We actually had Mike McGinty's final piece of artwork. If that name rings a bell, he's a guy who did the artwork for the Street Fighter II Super Nintendo box, where Blanca's lunging at Chun-Li, barreling over Ryu.
Yeah, and
That's Mike McGinty.
he recently passed away. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. We got his final piece of artwork.
That's amazing.
And
that means like that means this game's gonna be legendary forever because people like that, like they're the forefathers of this whole shit, man. You know,
people. That's why I was mentioning Sango Fighter. There's actually a Sango Fighter cameo in like one of the survival mode bonus stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So people, we talk about. I'm not just trying to not use people like too broad. I'm trying to be insensitive. It's really weird how far we've come from when 2009 and Street Fighter 4 came on consoles, and that kind of changed everything. Because now we're in an era where you can play online easily and not have to dig through GDPO and Kylera to find people to play. It's just plug in PSN or Xbox Live and you're good.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
And I remember when 09er was a dirty word.
Yeah, now it's like the 09ers are OGs now. So
yeah, 09 was
a long time ago.
years ago.
Can't believe it. I can't believe it. Time flies, but yeah.
So stuff like we're talking about, like with Mike McGinty or Nona or any of the other people involved in this. We even have like former TMNT comic artists involved in this in some form or another. And of course, my dude Osmar Shotgun. I'd say you can find him on Twitter, but he's a hentai artist by trade. I harness his powers for good. But
by the way, I just want to shout out Riz1. Thank you for the raid, brother. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Osmar does all my flyers that I've given you. He's one of those kind of artists. But I met him through Saint Seiya of all things, because finding people who know Saint Seiya and can speak English are very rare.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we said, well, we have a lot in common. We both love fighting games. We both love like tokusatsu, like Power
Yeah.
Rangers or Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, stuff like that. We both love Saint Seiya, and
Yeah,
over time, he,
Saint Seiya is more popular in Latin America region.
yeah, he's Brazilian.
Yeah.
Um, and he told me like I'm a good friend at this point because we have so much in common, and he liked drawing these flyer stuff, like the fighting game type stuff. I told him, you remind me of like the mid '90s X-Men look.
Mm.
Some of those flyers he has with just the high definition, the vivid colors, and for
Oh
good to see
snap!
you, Justin. By the way,
And now Justin with the raid. Thank you,
yeah,
Justin, for
yeah.
the
Justin
raid.
heard me talk about a Battle Coliseum and
Yeah.
Cross Tekken, so he's definitely in there. Yeah. So Osbar does all our flyers, and he's been a great asset for me to kind of put that extra pop in what I bring to my events. Not just the games I'm repping, but I guess the energy I bring as a commentator.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Uh,
You definitely do have that energy. And oh yeah, and I just wanted to mention, for those of you guys that are just joining us from Justin and Rizwan's raids, this is Furby's Corner, episode 4. Powered by Beast Coast FGC and Honey, powered by PayPal. There's the 4th episode, and my guest today is Psychoblue, hashtag Cross Wires. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Marvelous Meetings, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, and TMNT Cross Justice League. We're just talking about his history in the FGC, and we're going over TMNT. But hey, yeah, go on, carry on, brother.
yeah. It's weird to see that this game is like something for our generation, where we've seen this whole genre come from its infancy, and Osmar is someone who is our age who saw all these things. Um, and the flyers he does have that vivid energy that just pop at you. And with my commentary, I'm a very energetic guy. You can tell you've seen me many times. You know I'm always acting like I am just hopped up on sugar. I'm not, by the way, just my adrenaline going up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because growing up, I wanted to be a sportscaster. Like my idols were Bill Walton and Howard Cosell. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be the guy who would be at the game and you would hear like a crazy call of this dunk that happened or a clutch shot or a pivotal interception, et cetera, et cetera. I wanted to be that guy, and I wanted to put over all the things that I was seeing as these special moments you have to cherish. And I cherish these games, so I am hyping these games with just such raw energy. And I'm very blessed that over time I've had a chance to further expand that commentary and have a stage with you where more people can see me do this. I've been commentating my own events on my own channel since 2014 in one form or another. So to see people in your YouTube comments or in your Twitch chat tell me I'm a good commentator, I'm so used to negativity for people who don't know the commentators. For me to see that is so encouraging. So everybody who's ever commented my commentary, thank you so much. It means the world to me. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Like, it's always good to try to focus on the positive. Although, I know this is a content creator. It's like you have a billion positive comments, but then you just focus on that one negative comment that pisses you off. It'd be like that though.
I think for me, because going back to that defiant punk rock / rap energy of Cross Tekken, I'm just used to negativity. So when positives happen, they just shine that much more. So when the positive outweigh the negative, it's like blasting brighter than the sun.
Hmm. Yep. That.
Like, yeah. So with with having Osmar involved with my flyers and putting my voice, I try to have like a match of energy. And I've told other
Yep.
commentators, I'm at the point now I've commentated so much, I'm not afraid to give other commentators feedback. There is something that I really liked hearing from Stephen A. Smith
Hmm.
one day on Sports Center. So if you can't tell, I'm a huge like non-esports sports nut, especially basketball. Suns are my boys. I'm hoping this is the year that we take it home. But yeah, with Stephen A. Smith, he was talking about a player who was out of the league, not so much for his lack of talent, which he definitely did not have much of, but the lack of accountability. And he said something that I always try to live up to. I have to trust that you care. And I want to show the world that whether no matter what you may think of like my approach, just please know how much I care about these games. Have these games have changed my life. I got into Cross Tekken during a really rough time early in my career. I'm not going to get into specifics, but without Cross Tekken, it would have been really hard for me to get through that year in one piece. Because Cross Tekken gave me an outlet to focus on. I've told Ono this many times. I've told Nakayama this many times. I know Ono's out of the picture now. I'm hoping he's doing well with his new gig with Melty Blood and stuff like that. But yeah, I've told Harada that several times as well, and they give me the usual thank you for your support, which is fine. But I want to give back because without these games, I don't have all these things. I don't have that medal I have from when I won Summer Jam for Cross Tekken. I don't have that flyer signed by Ono Harada when I won Evo for Cross Tekken. I don't have. You can't see them right here. I have pictures of all the flyers that Osmar did for me. I don't have any of that. I'm not doing any of this writing stuff right there for TNT Cross Justice League. I don't have I don't have that big post in the back. Like I don't have all these things not for fighting games. And for me to make an impact and to wake up every morning before I go to the office or before I see a client and give hope to the families of that client saying your child will be able to do this if you follow this stuff. Your child will be able to do this if you follow these things. You just buy in and let us help you. And for those parents to say how much inspiration that I am to bring my own story to that. If I didn't have Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and if I didn't have fighting games in general to kind of properly detox and center myself, I wouldn't be able to properly serve them. So I want to show the world how much I care about these fighting games by supporting them the best I can, whether it be as a commentator so you can hear my voice just spread all this love and excitement and positive energy, whether it be with my writing with Team Cross Justice League, which adds extra pop and broadens the appeal to bring people into these fighting games who might be fans of the IP they're a part of, or whether it be to highlight the players who care about these games as much as I do, who put in the work as much as I do, if not more, for certain other games. And I want to highlight those when I can who have that similar love and energy for their games that I do for mine, whether it be Jaco Man, whether it be Bast, whether it be Matt Ponton, whether it be Wave Chan, whether it be whoever else. Like, do you know who Shadownook is on Twitter? She's the Bison cosplayer.
Yeah, yeah. I know the name. I know the name. Yeah,
Yeah, she
but
actually housed me in Holland um, in 2018.
wow, amazing. Yeah,
Yes, and
see, like the FGC is like 2 degrees separation at most.
yeah, and I'm saying, and I wouldn't be doing that if not for fighting games. Traveling the world to do something like that with someone, to see her city, to meet her family, all these things. I'm traveling the world, and or some buddies I'm in other fields. Like you've heard me post wrestling all the time. I got people in like the business, as they say, and I've traveled the world to meet them too. And we met through fighting games.
Yeah, yeah. Fighting games are such a beautiful thing, man. Like it definitely brings all walks of life together, and you'll be able to travel places you wouldn't been able to travel to otherwise, and meet amazing people that could definitely change your life forever.
Yeah, and it's sadly not Stone Cold.
Not yet.
I remember one time, Nerd Josh can confirm this. There was one time, a guy at Final Round, Nerd Josh said this one gentleman was one of William Regal's kids. And sadly, we confirmed that neither Regal nor Finley play fighting games. So it's not any of those guys. But anyway, going back to the point of the story, these games, and I'm hoping now that offline events are coming back with more more regularity
Mm-hmm.
that we can kind of remember this. These games allow us to bridge gaps that we would not be able to bridge otherwise.
Absolutely.
No matter what your differences are, no matter what you're dealing with, you can, at least for a weekend, put it aside and say, "Who all these people here are here for the exact same reason I am." Anything more develops from that, awesome. But sometimes just having that understanding, we are all here for the same reason, that is enough, and that is a beautiful thing. And I want to unite everyone as best I can under that notion. We are all here for the same thing.
Of
You've
course.
heard me say it a whole bunch of times in your stream. It's rough out there, so come on in. Let's have some positivity for a bit, and now we'll have this energy to tackle the problems that might happen after the stream is done or after the set is done.
Yeah. I'm absolutely blow it up, man. But yeah, and like you definitely gave me like a good overview, like of like what you've been doing in the FGC, across the various tiles, and just by having this podcast with you. Well, like I already knew it, but I hope the people can see like your passion and your desire and your drive, to support the games that you pretty much have been supporting, through the pandemic, and well after after things start going back to normal.
Yeah, I'm right now looking at Combo Breaker and Evo. Beyond that, I'll probably be at Beast of the East in Virginia Beach. I'll hopefully have a chance to see Meredith and Justin again, because they always bring the cabs I like of Soul Calibur 3 Arcade Edition.
No,
Um,
oh man, oh yeah, it's true. I do have
just
I do have System 246, so I have Soul Calibur 3 as well. I'm lucky enough to own the board of that.
hopefully that Community Edition can take off, and one day PS2 emulation gets rolled back so we can play people in that. Now that game is sick.
Mm-hmm. That would definitely be a pipe dream.
Beyond that, yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens. Obviously, I will be in touch with you about online events, whether it be things that give you secondhand or things that we do together live. Otherwise, guys, you can check out my YouTube, Psychoblue SFXT. I do my weekly uploads of cross Tekken matches, usually my own. I'm trying to get the rest of the community to kind of give me some stuff
Yeah, we're taking a look
to.
at it now. Like these endings for a TMNT Cross Justice League Turbo, they're all on Psychoblue's YouTube channel. That's at youtube.com/Psychoblue SFXT. You said it so fast, I had to say it again.
Yeah, and the reason I give you all my stuff is people only tune in for cross tech on my channel, but everything else no one cares about. So I'm giving all the other stuff to you, and thankfully it's been much more productive with Infinite having all these views and the cross tech and Discord stuff having all these views.
Mhm.
Um, so and I might give them to you, by the way. Like I am not one who is in any way worried about whatever view kind of revenue I get. I just want to make sure these games have the exposure they have. And you've told me this, and it rings true because you are in a position where you have this stage. These games can be seen by so many more people than I could ever dream about. So thank you again for providing that stage.
Yeah, no doubt. Building a building a community is definitely hard work. It
All
takes
right,
so many.
but
It takes so many years to do this stuff. Like
it does, yeah. And for me, and this is something I'm going to tell you this. Um, it's early on building that scene. It was hard for me to kind of have individuals that I felt like I could trust to match that energy, and you definitely have it. You have that energy. You have the same passion I do for all these games, whether it be the stuff that we just talked about, or I saw you post Fighter's History on your channel, or Rumblefish, a game I still need to learn how to play. I joked with someone that now that Dimps is like super high into it with a Street Fighter V and Xenoverse,
uh
now they have the mind of Rumblefish 3.
not only is Universe that like they also did Soul Calibur 6. That's a Dimps game.
That makes perfect sense, actually. Just the way the game plays out, it has that kind of Budokai type energy.
Yeah,
So
yeah, like I mean, it's not well known for whatever reason, but if you do go to Dimps' Japanese site, like you will see they're in the credits for Soul Calibur 6, which
but
is
yeah, all these things, you have that same energy I do, like the same energy that I have such great respect for to be more crazy for, the same energy that I see in Matt Ponton for Dead or Alive.
hmm
Um, I want to. I enjoy giving you this footage because on your channel, anyone can see that when there is a will, there is a way for these games. You are not the only one looking to scratch this itch, and you help build bridges by showing people, hey, this is going on. This is going on, whether it be my events or Venka bots or stuff like that.
Yeah, and yeah, like there's so many great community leaders doing such amazing work, and yeah, thank you for hooking me up and being able to show like some of the great work y'all have been doing to a wider audience.
Absolutely. And by the way, Stonebone, I play Bison Hachi as my number one option.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
Ice bopped me pretty bad the other day, so I guess he's the Bison number one again.
No, but yeah, but yeah, if you want to catch the heat from Psychoblue, make sure to hit up that cross Tekken Discord. I'm sure I'll have all the links in on Spotify, Beast Coast YouTube channel and stuff. And thank you so much for being an amazing guest. Like wow, like you really gave me like a little bit of a sit down and a conversation into what you're about. And of course, I already knew, but this was more so for the people. Couple people I want to thank once again. First off, guys, this podcast is powered by Beast Coast and Honey by PayPal. I'm gonna show that again real quick before I wrap it up because they do power because like the corporate overlords, they do power these lovely podcasts, right? So if you want if you want like an easy way to help the stream, that's completely free. Make sure to use that Honey referral link right there. Joinhoney.com/Furby. And just a quick overview like about Honey. For those of you guys that have missed it, Honey is an online coupon app that we use. You can add it as an extension to Chrome. Like you can also use it on phone as well. It only takes 2 clicks. You can add it to Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera. You shop on a website as normal. It'll automatically add promo codes on the internet, and it'll automatically save you money over time. And it's completely free. It is powered by PayPal. And so far people that have used Honey, they save over $1 billion. They've had 18% in discounts found, and 30,000 participating stores. If you guys don't have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting the show. And I use Honey myself. If you want to get it for free, joinhoney.com/Furby. If you want to click that promo link. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you to Honey, thank you to Beast Coast, and thank you to yourself, my friend. For sitting down with me and explaining to me so much about your FGC history and what you've been doing in the scene these days.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you once again giving me a stage to show the world what I've been up to and why there is much more to come, whether it be for Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which is, as always, home court for me,
Hmm.
whether it be Marvel's Capcom Infinite, another game I hold dear to my heart. Not nearly as skilled that game as Cross Tekken, but it is still a fantastic game. Whether it be for TMNT Cross Justice League, of which I'm a writer for, whether it be for Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, which I'm trying to give that jolt of energy in the Fightcade lobbies, or whether it be whatever else I feel like needs some love for one reason or another. So thank you again. And
Yeah,
everybody, I hope you guys have a great evening. Once again, it's
yeah,
late. I won't hold you guys any further. Psychoblue, come to the hydrant. Hydrant has cross wires. Hashtag NYC Furby. We are wrapping
yeah,
this up.
yep. And once again, guys, you want to follow Psychoblue on twitter.com/Psychoblue9 or youtube.com/Psychoblue SFXT, guys. And yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
My pleasure. Enjoy your evening, my friend.
All right, yeah, yeah, you too, man. Talk to you soon. Talk to you soon, I'm sure. Peace, pieces. All right, guys, that was a really good that was a really good podcast. I really hope that you guys enjoyed that one. I had a lot of fun doing it myself. Once again, make sure to check out these episodes on Spotify. Like you'll definitely see it on Twitter. I'll have the Spotify link up. When it's time for me to tweet out the episode again. It's also on the Beast Coast FGC channel, so make sure to subscribe to them. YouTube.com/Beast Coast FGC. And of course, shouts to you guys for watching. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time for episode 5.